They say waking up is hard to do, especially when you're not alone. They say life is full of surprises, that our dreams really can come true. Then again, so can our nightmares. Welcome home, Jenny Humphrey. We've missed you. Hey guys, welcome back to Three Gossip Girls, a Gossip Girl podcast. I'm Liz.
And I'm Michelle.
Tonight we watched a crazy episode, a very inappropriate episode, which we'll get into. Episode 6 of season 4, Easy J, original air date October 25th, 2010, written by Jake Coburn, directed by Lee Chalet Kamel. Although Blair made it perfectly clear that little J was no longer welcome in Manhattan after what happened with Chuck, Jenny is tempted by a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to meet Tim Gunn, which could be a game-changer for her future. Meanwhile, Serena discovers something about her new boyfriend, which it's like, okay, he's not a boyfriend, whatever, we'll get into it, Colin, that may put an end to their relationship just as it was getting good. I'm like, guys, it's been one fucking day. It's been less than 24 hours.
Beer flavored nipples. I've been saying it.
That's what it has to be, right? She gives off this aura. The nips are...
I like that dance.
Yes,
for the nips.
I'm doing like this weird arm movement nips dance. And like they just leech. I don't understand. Mm-hmm. I understand the appeal of Serena. Don't get me wrong. This situation, and I cannot wait to talk about it. We are both fired up. Fired up. So fired up. We are fired up also because I made a little mocktail tonight, a Virgin Manhattan, because that's Tim Gunn's favorite drink.
It is?
Yes, you can look it up. You can Google it. His favorite drink is a Manhattan. And I titled it Make It Work because you guys should see Michelle's face. So Michelle, if you guys saw us on stories tonight, Michelle has a Tim Gunn bobblehead and it used to say Make It Work, but she just tried to play it and it didn't work. Aww, the batteries are dead.
Yeah.
That's okay. Make it work because if you're a fan of Tim Gunn, Project Runway, you know the inside joke there, but really a metaphor for all of our characters, especially Jenny. Make it work, Jenny.
Make it work.
Oh, Jenny. Good to see her, though. I know you guys are haters, but Michelle and I love Jenny.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't even want to say okay, but like I feel we are very much on the team and side of Jenny.
Especially in this episode.
Yeah, and I don't understand why there are so many haters of her.
Same.
I think y'all need to rewatch it.
It has to be that nostalgia, first impression. It just stays with you. Just like these chair lovers. Like my first impression, yes, love them. You're in your 30s, you're still like, I know they're toxic, but I still love them because it's nostalgia. So is this nostalgia to hate Jenny and Vanessa too? Probably.
But how do you watch this episode and you're like, no, I hate Jenny? No. You kind of side with her and you're like, oh yeah, I probably would have done the same thing.
Exactly. All right. So I wanted to refresh everyone's memories on the Three Gossip Birds for last week, which I definitely fooled Michelle. Michelle's like, my predictions were so off. I'm like, well, that's the fun of it all. You know, you don't know what's going to happen. So I had visiting for Juliet and Nate visiting the prison, but also Jenny was visiting, Professor for obvious reasons. I mean, that's Serena's professor that she's now dating or had one date with, and then Gunn. So last week, Chuck does mention that he wanted to speak with Tim Gunn's assistant, but I know you didn't catch it because first of all, you can't understand what he's saying. He talks so low. And it was so quick, and we were like yelling and screaming, and then all you hear is Parsons, and you're like, Parsons, yay! And I was like, okay, she didn't actually hear the words Tim Gunn.
That is so sneaky.
Yeah, so I was like banking on the fact that you weren't going to hear him say it because I didn't even catch it the first time I watched it. I'm like, oh, he does say Tim Gunn in this episode. So I wanted to just go with it anyway. I was like, so we were doing our summary and stuff, and I was waiting for you to say, like, yeah, and I heard it was Tim Gunn, but you didn't. So I was like, perfect.
Well, that explains all the facial expressions last week. I'm like, oh my God, Juliet's going to take out Serena.
So good, though. No, I mean, hey, makes for good content. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, so let's start. Blair is having a wait until dark dream, which I've never seen. It's another Audrey Hepburn movie.
No, but I have to interject though. I love her with short hair.
She looks so good.
Gorgeous.
Her face, she's got very small features, so the short hair really looks good on her.
Yeah.
In the dream, there is someone attacking her in which she believes it to be Chuck, but then possibly someone with blonde, and pulls out this like blonde extension with the headband that she gifted to Jenny in the final scene of her in season 2, when she tells her she's queen, right?
Yeah.
Remember that really ugly actually headband with all the big crystals? So I'm like, wait a minute. What's happening here? She awakes, and then we quickly pan over to Serena, who's sleeping next to Cab Guy. She's sleeping next to him. She spent the whole night with him. And you assume that they slept together, regardless if they did or didn't. So she smiles and she sneakily sneaks out of his apartment. So she goes back to the Waldorfs, and Blair is there to find her doing the walk of shame. But Serena claims that she and Colin, the cab stealer, were up all night talking. That's it. Nothing else happened. Okay. Let's just say I do believe you. Why did you have to sleep over? It's not giving a good signal. I'm just saying. I'm like the mommy here. It doesn't look good, Serena.
No, it does not look good.
If you don't want him to get the wrong impression, you don't sleep. You don't sleep there.
You don't spend the night.
You don't spend the night. And then obviously wearing his pajamas. You didn't bring your own pajamas.
Correct.
Correct. Whatever. I'm being very mommy.
No, I think you're being all of us.
Okay, I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't want you all to think I'm like this prude girl that doesn't say you can't hook up with people.
This little girl's with you on that. So okay. Yeah.
And then what gets me is they start discussing how Serena is like falling for this guy, falling for him in a matter of hours, and she's rambling on how he is this business guy, but he's also artistic and loves X, Y, and Z, whatever. But she didn't want him to get her a cab because she's not a cab girl. No, I'm not going to be like his other cab girl. So I'm like, okay, sounds like you, Serena. Sure. So they also discuss Blair's dream and how it's a symbol for Chuck declaring war on her, but confused as to why a female, possibly long hair, blonde, would attack her, and then she realizes who it is. And I'm like, I'm sorry, is Blair psychic now? How would she know Jenny's coming into town?
She just has that gut intuition.
What a gut.
What a gut.
What a freaking gut. Like, that you would be so in tune to Manhattan that you would know Jenny Humphrey would be back in, a few feet away from her. It's just so crazy to me. So both girls head off to school. Serena runs into Chuck on their way to their business class, which I'm like, Serena and Chuck are in the same class. Columbia's sophomore class is so fucking small that they would be in the same class with each other.
Yeah, I was wondering that as well.
Juliet's in her class. Chuck's in her class. Hey, Blair. Everyone can be in everyone's classes.
And
everyone's taking the same classes?
Everyone's taking the same classes. Everyone's the same major? Or is this just liberal arts?
Are they all business? Are they all business majors? I don't know.
It's very
you guys let us know.
It's convenient is what it
so
is.
Convenient.
It's convenient.
I mean, hey, it's television, whatever. But they discuss the war on Blair, and then how they are going to have a new professor for the psych of business class, because as we know, Martha's like, I can't deal with these shitty kids and I need to go. So the professor walks over and Serena's like, oh, hey, Colin. He's like, I'm the professor. Shocking. I mean, I couldn't see this coming. Did you see it coming, actually?
No, I didn't see it coming. Okay. Well, I mean, I saw him visually coming, though. Yes. But of course he is. One of those. Of course he is.
Yeah. So Serena and Colin talk. He admits that he notices that she keeps running off on him, like, what gives? And she tells him she doesn't want to be another one of his conquests or one of his cab girls. And then what gets me is, like, he says, okay, yeah, you made that clear last night when you didn't want to be conquered. I'm sorry. So
you're
you're pushing the wrong buttons tonight.
Okay. Do we know how old he is?
No, but I also just think I don't care how old he is. It's still incredibly
It's inappropriate. 100% it's inappropriate. I was just curious.
He has to be, and I will look this up. Maybe after during break, I'll see if I can get a confirmation of how old he actually is. But I don't... dude.
32, 33?
I mean, he wrote a book.
Yeah,
that takes a long time to write a book.
It does take a long time to write a book. So let's say he...
And yes, have to have been a mogul, you know?
So he wrote this book, like you said, and we see. And it's on business, like being the CEO.
And being like a high up, knowing your shit. I mean, it takes years.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, let's say he started that at 23. But no way. Right? Like, you wouldn't start that at... Yeah, how would you have that knowledge?
Right. So he's got to be pushing 30. Right? Let's just give him the benefit of doubt. He's not even 30.
We're going to say still in his 20s?
Maybe late 20s, 27, 28. Could have had maybe a couple years under his belt. Maybe he got promoted really quickly because he's really savvy. I don't know.
And wouldn't Chuck know who he is in this business world?
Especially, well, yeah, because Chuck said
he's a young entrepreneur
we
himself.
have this new, apparently great professor who knows his shit. Like the fact that, well, maybe Chuck does know him, but Serena had no idea who this guest speaker was going to be. Whatever.
And she's 19.
She is 19.
Okay.
Getting back to the conquest, I just can't let this go. He wanted to conquer her, but she didn't want to be conquered. Why would you phrase it that way? And also, it makes me seem like all you want is sex, but you ended up talking all night, and now you guys are like, I'm so connected.
That's what happens with Serena.
You talk all night, and now you're connected.
And a changed man.
And he's a changed man, right? Like, I need to have sex that night because we're just talking.
No longer a bachelor.
Which, speaking of being a bachelor, he's going to be receiving the Most Eligible Bachelor award at some event later on. Why you would then invite your 19-year-old student to be your date to this Most Eligible Bachelor award ceremony baffles my mind.
And to prove to her that he's willing to change. I know Liz is hitting her forehead right now. Exactly. He's willing to change and going to invite her to the ceremony. He's saying no to all the other cab women out there.
And then he
says, just you, Serena.
You know what, Serena? Maybe you want to postpone taking the psych of business class so we don't have to have this like confrontation and you can take it on when it's good for you. Whoa.
What? Let me tell you how to run your education, and you shouldn't take something so you can date me.
Oh my God.
What?
And literally, guys, remember, it's not even been 24 hours. It's not even been 24. Unless I'm totally wrong. Guys, you let me know if I'm wrong, but what I saw was they keep bumping into each other at the cabs for a week or so. And then one night, she's having a rough night. He's having a rough night. They meet at the bar, and this is the next morning. Is this not the next morning? It has to be. It's the next morning. Right?
No, you're right. But now I've like mentally fast forwarded to the end, and now I'm like unsure of everything.
Well, I mean, that last scene makes you unsure of everything.
Yeah.
What you know. That's Serena's morning. We have Blair. She, on a hunch, goes over to the Vanderwoodsons, opens the door. Hello? Is anyone here? I'm like, why would you just open the door?
How did you get in?
How did you get in? I guess maybe Vanya, whoever knows, and said, all right, Blair, go up. But she is like, hello, and opens the door to Jenny's room, and there little Jay is in the flesh, and they're both giving each other like this look like, don't mess.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here?
So Jenny's back on the Upper East Side. Blair then speaks like she's fucking God. Like, I told you, I exiled you to Hudson, and how dare you come back here, and now you must leave. Jenny's like, dude, it's one day. I have an interview with Tim Gunn. Please don't take this away from me. And then Blair's like, okay with it. She's like, okay, only if you don't see or talk to anyone.
And also, what else was in there is that she couldn't come back for holidays.
Yes, and then Jenny goes, I'll go away for a year. I won't even come back for Christmas. And Blair is like, okay, you have a deal.
So badly, I just wanted Rufus or Lily to walk in and hear Blair say this and be like, I'm sorry, Blair, you're not
a fucking child.
Freaking queen. Can you leave? Like, yes, you're the queen in some circles, aka to 3 minions. But that is it. And it's so pathetic.
At this point, I'm going to drive home the entire episode of like, you were literally a small fish in a small pond. Nobody gives a fuck about you.
Except for Gossip Girl,
Except
I
for
guess.
Gossip Girl.
I don't know. I don't. And Chuck.
Yeah, and Chuck, right?
Yeah.
So she grants Jenny the state pass. As we said, there's stipulations. She can't leave or see anyone until the only time she can leave is for her interview. So then Blair heads to Columbia to meet up with Serena, who just got out of her class and is freaking out because she's explaining the situation of Colin being her professor. And Blair's like, you know what, Serena? Just like knock it down. Like, let's not do this. He's your professor. And then Serena, I had to laugh. She's like, I can't believe this is happening. And I'm like, yeah, again. Like this literally happens to you again, but I'm sure you'll find your way around it because you're Serena Vanderwoodson. And then Blair advises her, like, tell Colin that this blooming relationship is no longer. And Serena's like, but I really like him though. This sucks. I really like him. It's been one day. How do you know? He could be a fucking serial killer. You have no idea his character. You don't.
It's just the first guy in New York that's not Nate or Padge.
But he's certainly not a mix of Padge and Nate. You know?
No, he's not.
What she wanted.
But it's a distraction. And it's the first guy she's spent time with and had a conversation with. So
he's into her.
But of course he's into her.
Of course he's into her.
But this is so Serena. Within 24 hours. Oh, I really like him. How about like,
he seems like a nice guy. That's an appropriate thing to say.
How about we put a wall up, Serena? Can we have just like a little bit of a boundary?
Just a little. But she doesn't.
No.
She just easily just falls into the next, into the next. And so Blair then sees Chuck. She approaches him yelling, did you let Jenny Humphrey back in Manhattan? And he swears he didn't do it. She then mentions again that if anyone finds out why she exiled Jenny, it would look bad on both of them. And I'm over here like, who cares? Literally everyone knows who needs to know, and then everyone else like has shit to do and is focusing on their own lives and like doesn't care.
Well,
why
I guess,
she exiled her.
I guess those three minions
they're the only ones
are not focused on their own lives.
They're
like,
focused on Blair's life, and they're the only three people in the entire city that I think care about this.
Can you imagine leaving high school in a petty situation and then going to college and continuing a petty lifestyle? Can you imagine? Because college is a totally different life.
You're supposed to be a different person in college. Like, you're supposed to grow, be more mature. You know, you get there.
You leave all of that high school baggage behind.
But none of them did. The four of them haven't, including Gossip Girl.
I wonder why the writers... why did we choose to do this?
Like, bring Gossip Girl into college?
No, not Gossip Girl. Why bring minions? It was so high school to me. Like, I understand Blair doing this in high school, and maybe because it has to do with her insecurities and lack of... As much as she's self-confident, she has no confidence.
Right.
With so many things.
It's so confusing. Like, her being Blair Waldorf is very emotionally confusing.
And I'm sure for her as well. But I don't know why we had to continue this in college.
I know. But
it's a bummer, actually.
It's, I guess, like, you maybe never grow out of these type of things. Like, it's something that your clutch that you lean back on. The only way she felt comfortable at NYU was to find someone who would, like, bow down to her. And that's when she found her small little clique there. So Columbia, and especially because the girls at Columbia read Gossip Girl. Like, it's the big thing at Columbia.
But even for Penelope, who was at Columbia
and she's
before Blair.
And she hates Blair.
Right.
Like, so why would you? But I guess it's like also the status thing, and
I guess.
But speaking of her minions, Blair then orders them to watch over Jenny for the day, making sure she doesn't, ruin their agreement
or go over. Yeah, make her step into Manhattan.
Exactly. So over at the Humphrey Vanderwoodson loft, Rufus puts out a spread of breakfast for Jenny's very quick visit and wants to celebrate her being home and suggests they all go to Babbo for dinner. And Jenny declines because she really can't go out, and she suggests maybe they'll have Rufus's chili. And it's just so stupid because she can't fucking leave the apartment when she is not a slave, not locked down, not punished. It's just ridiculous. And Eric and Dan are onto her, and they go and they wonder why Jenny doesn't want to go out to dinner, and she explains the whole Blair situation. They both think it's ridiculous, like all of us, and Jenny's like, I don't want to push any buttons, it's fine. Chuck then arrives to talk to Jenny, but Dan's like, I'll go handle it. It's funny. He's like, what? Like, what made you decide to go handle it?
Right.
I don't know. I thought that was weird. But Chuck says he wants to apologize to Jenny, but then Dan doesn't really allow him to get near Jenny. And so Chuck like fabricates this whole like, Lily left these blueprints for me, and picks up the Bass Industries blueprints, but knowingly underneath takes Jenny's sketchbook, which is so fucked up. Knowing that she needs it. It doesn't seem like he did, right?
Right. And but these, knowing now, like
Right.
understanding that it was done on purpose, but this is a type of situation in shows and movies that I can't stand.
Oh my God, Sam, I hate it.
It like is really annoying, because how do you not know you have like a huge portfolio with you or a big thing, and you don't realize until later, and it's this whole big thing that could be avoided.
Right. But I guess he didn't want it to be avoided. You know, he wanted this to happen, which sucks. So later on, he calls Jenny and tells her that he took her portfolio by mistake, and she has to come and get it. It's like, no, fucking have your driver deliver it to her.
Right.
But obviously it's on purpose. And so she's pissed, and she gets in a cab and she heads over to the Empire, and the minions are behind her in a cab following her. And so they, of course, spill the beans to Blair. So then Blair gets mad, makes a call to Tim Gunn's studio. And I don't really know how she achieved this scheme, but just does something, which we will eventually get to. So Jenny arrives at the meeting, and Dan is there for moral support. And, Tim Gunn's assistant is there, like, welcoming her to come in. And so Tim Gunn and Jenny talk, and he's impressed by her, and he loves Eleanor, and he kind of, like, doesn't really prompt her to tell her life story, but she decides to tell her life story anyway.
I think this shows how young she is.
Yes, and probably nervous and just wanted to go over all of her bases.
Right.
And so he's like, okay, great, Jenny, like, let's bring out your models. And all of her models come out in these black dresses, and when they turn around, they are spelling the word whore. Each dress has a different letter. And Tim Gunn and his assistant are like, what the hell? Is this a joke? You need to leave. And Jenny's like, oh my God, no, I would never do this. But he kicks her out anyway. So Dan is downstairs waiting for Jenny, and Blair arrives, and Dan's like, no. You can't come over here, Blair. And like, mind you, she's already fucked everything over. And so Jenny comes downstairs, and she's crying, and she's like, what the hell, Blair? She's like, I did whatever you asked. I can't believe you would stoop so low. And Blair's like, this is for you breaking the treaty. You went to go to the Empire, gives her a ticket to go back to Hudson. So of course this all gets posted on Gossip Girl, probably the minions sending it out.
Took a picture, yeah.
And so then immediately Chuck calls Dan and wants to offer his assistance to helping Jenny get another chance with Tim Gunn, when it's like, this is all your fault anyway, but okay.
And yeah.
So Chuck invites them to a party where Tim Gunn's going to be attending later on.
So
and
can we?
Yeah.
Just not to interrupt your flow. This party.
Yeah, this party.
Is the Observer party.
Yes, it's the New York Observer party.
And not only is Tim Gunn going to be there.
He's getting nominated, but also Colin Forrester is getting nominated.
Thank you. Yes. So this big shot is
I don't think
Colin.
Chuck knew that.
No, I know that.
Oh, yeah.
But just, again, why is Tim Gunn here?
Why
is Colin
Forrester
there?
Again, making him like this big guy.
Right.
You know? I'm like,
who rolls with the big shots of New York.
Yes.
Professor.
Yes. It's very like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. I don't really get it. So Chuck invites Jenny to the party and says, I'll give your whole family tickets. And so they're like, well, what else do we have to lose now? I might as well go and try to, like, Blair can't do anything to me now. I've already been exiled again. And so they decide to go. Mind you, again, this is the same party Serena's going to be at. So it should be fun. So later on, Serena heads to the Vanderwoodsons to raid Lily's jewelry closet, box, whatever it is.
She needs some fancy jewels for the evening.
Jewelry. Yes. And Lily's like, oh, okay, this is exciting. And sees Serena's the
jacket.
Yes, but I don't know if, like, did they all have to purposely buy this book for his class?
I took it as Serena's
or she just was like, oh, I'm taking
it.
interest in this book, right?
Yeah.
So Lily happens to see Colin's book and is so proud that she's taking an interest in school again, and she's trying to focus on her future and not boys. It's like, oh, Lily, you have no idea. And Serena's like, yeah, okay, cool. And so she's feeling guilty, and they go to the party, and she arrives with Colin, and she's like, I don't feel comfortable walking in together. She's afraid that she's going to get her picture taken with paparazzi and doesn't want her mom to find out. And little does she know, she sees her mom across the way and is like, oh shit, what are you doing here? And goes up to her, and Lily's like, oh yeah, Jenny and Eric were really excited to come to this. And is that your professor over there? And Colin comes over and kisses Serena in front of Lily and is like, I need to meet your mom and tell her how crazy I am about you. One day. One fucking day. Actually, okay, maybe this is like 30 hours from them meeting and talking.
But who says that? I need to meet your mom.
It's like, what? You like sound like such a fake person.
Right. And the other thing is, again, now as I'm saying this, it just makes me think of the ending.
Yeah. Do you actually mean what you're saying?
I don't think so.
But what's the motive? We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Colin walks away embarrassed. Serena tries to explain herself to her mom. And Lily's like, I'm here for some tough love. Let me give it to you straight. And she's like, Serena, you're not really made out for college, and you're just a pretty girl, and you can marry rich and not have to work. And Serena's like so offended by it. And Rufus is like, ouch, Lil, like you didn't really have to go that far. And she's like, well, I was going to give her some reverse psychology because nothing else I do seems to work. And I found it out, a tactic that I learned in Colin's book, mind you, which is hysterical. So then Colin accepts his award, his bachelor award, and in front of everyone, he's going off on how if he found the right woman, he would gladly give up this award. And he's like focusing his attention and eyes on Serena. And Serena's like, oh, no, this is not me. My mom just like flat out told me I'm going to be this like stay-at-home rich wife who
I don't need to work.
Yeah, who's uneducated or whatever. And Serena like slowly like leaves, and he's watching and he's making a speech, but it's like, guess this is not the girl that I thought she was. And she walks out of the room. Later on, Blair gets a call from Penelope telling her that Jenny is at the party, wants to make amends with Tim Gunn. They're having trouble getting into the boom room, I think it was.
Yeah.
And so Jenny goes up to Tim Gunn. She apologizes, and he's like, all right, I'll arrange another interview, and mentions that Chuck was the one to get her the original interview. And so Jenny's like now putting the pieces together. So the minions approach Jenny, and they question why Jenny was banished from the city. And Jenny's like, oh, okay, you don't know why. This is so good.
This was so good. And at this point, I was screaming,
Michelle's like, blow it up,
Jenny. Blow it up. Blow it up. Take charge. Take advantage of the narrative. You can do it.
So true. And so Blair then arrives, and her and Chuck have this banter, which I honestly couldn't even tell you what they said because I couldn't understand a word that Chuck was saying.
It was the same BS back and forth.
Yeah, exactly. And so Blair then realizes Chuck is behind Jenny being in the city. And then the blast from Gossip Girl comes in that Chuck and Jenny slept together, courtesy of Jenny, which Eric is obviously disapproving of it, but she sent it anyway. So then Blair and Chuck are arguing, and Dan is telling Jenny, you know, not really too keen on you posting that on Gossip Girl. It's like you stoop to their level,
right.
Which Michelle was like, you know, honestly, at this point, they've given her no choice.
No, they drove her.
They drove her to do this. And it's like, who gives a shit?
Right. When Chuck and Blair are having that conversation, he's like, I told you I would do anything to take you down. And
right, but
she's
so
like,
it's like bringing Jenny into town was going to take her down. How?
Right. We'll just make her, I think he said, like,
infuriate
make her wiggle or something,
her,
squirm. And so she's like, well, if Jenny says anything, this is going to ruin both of our reputations. And he goes, oh, Jenny won't speak. And then she's like, oh, yeah, watch me. And I'm like, yes, girl, you speak, you say it. Like, take charge.
I know. And then in the Discord chat, I was like, what did Chuck expect to happen here?
You riled Jenny up. You know who she is.
You brought her into this. Mind you, you're you literally manipulated her whole entire interview and situation of bringing her back into Manhattan so she can be taken by the wolves of Blair and her minions. Like, you fucking set her up to fail, and that's how you treat her?
Not only that, you set her up and then you expect she's not going to sing anything?
Right. She's like,
Are
oh,
you
no.
kidding? Do we know who Jenny Humphrey is?
Exactly. She's like, I'm not going to take no shit from anyone.
So don't be surprised that she popped. So when Padge is giving that speech, I was like, no, I would have popped too.
I would have been like, yeah, actually, it makes sense.
Like, I had an interview that I thought was actually legitimate and I got on my own because Tim Gunn wanted to see it. And it turns out all of this was just so I could be a pawn in their stupid Chuck and Blair love game.
Right. It's
Give
so
me a
pathetic.
break.
Like, they
It's
would
so pathetic.
It's so pathetic. And so Chuck and Blair are arguing pretty much this exact point outside. And Jenny comes up to them and is like, you know, honestly, I don't even want to beat you at this point, because if I do, then it means I stoop to your level and I don't want to become like you. I want to be above that, which is so great. And tells Chair that they are both mutual destruction and one day it will catch up with them. And then she leaves. She's like, I'm not coming back.
I'm not coming back until you guys are better.
Yeah. So we have their last few scenes. Serena heads to Colin's office at Columbia to leave him a note, which I'm like, you could have just fucking picked up the phone or texted him to tell him why you left.
She's going to slide it under the door.
She's going to slide under the door, but then knocks, hello, is anyone in here? And of course, he's in there. And I can't help but like compare this to going into Tripp's office. Is anyone in here? Michelle's headphones just flew off
because
her head.
that's what I was thinking too.
It was so reminiscent of that, like an office, her saying, oh, I was just going to leave you a note, but they're there and there's like that sexual tension, but they can't be together. It's the exact same plot.
Same thing.
It's the same thing. And so he's like, you know, my class is only 7 weeks. Maybe we can just get to know each other during this time as professor and student. Don't go giving me an apple. It's not going to get you any credit. And they, you know, decide it's going to be strictly professional. Okay, sure. We'll see how long that lasts.
It's so inappropriate.
It's so inappropriate. The fact that you know, this story is so tired. Like, this is the same.
Also, though, it just leaves us to the motive.
Right. It does. So we have a scene quickly that Dan sees Jenny off to Hudson again, tells her he's proud of her and she loves him and he's a good brother. This scene was very sweet. And then Chuck goes to see Blair at the Waldorfs and admits that their fighting doesn't solve anything and one day it's going to leave them both dead, which I'm like to Michelle, I'm like, oh, like physically dead or like socially dead? Because literally this conversation is a joke. Who has this kind of conversation?
Well, is it going to stick though? That's all I want to know.
Well, you know, they are trying to make amends, I guess, and they're having a truce to stop fighting because Blair admits that what happened between the two of them was no one's fault, even though it's not entirely true, but it's always like if this didn't happen, I was like, yeah, okay, so if Dorota didn't go into labor and Blair did end up on the Empire State Building, would she have said yes to your proposal? I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, but guess what, something else would have happened.
And then also something else would have happened after that, and who's to say that you two shitty people would be in a healthy engagement or a non-engagement or whatever it is. So they're just, this is fate. And that's what Chuck said. And so they decide that holding on to the pain is all they have left of each other. And they just need to stop that. So they made a truce to stop fighting.
But we have to talk about that handshake.
And the handshake that shook her core.
This was Twilight. I thought I was watching Twilight. It's like we got like a zoom close up of her face, like
so
I just told a cold vampire hand.
The scene of Edward and Bella in the car when he literally she has the heat on so high and he's in his ice cold.
You didn't think of that? Nobody else thought.
No, I did, and it made me really laugh.
Yeah.
So the fact that you said that, I was like, yes, she gets it because she was like shaken to the core that I'm touching Chuck again. His hand is freezing,
but it's because he's a vampire. But she's like, the spark, it's still there.
Yeah, right.
We know.
Mm-hmm. So before we wrap up our last scene, we have to add this Nate Juliet stuff in there, which is like the good stuff of the episode. Yeah. We had a Pate phone call where Dan discusses how Vanessa moved out. We don't have any Vanessa in this episode. And Nate talks about how Juliet bolted after their special night together. Oh, Nate. He's like, I thought we'd get breakfast, cuddle in bed. It's like, Nate, you both have to fucking go to school. You both have school. And she's like, I need to get to class.
Well, only Juliet goes to school, I guess.
Apparently. And so he's like, yeah, she needed to get to class. And so the two hang up, and Nate sees Juliet outside of the prison where Howie was just transferred to. So he's like, Juliet? And she's like, oh, shit. So outside the prison, Juliet and Nate talk about how she lied. She was going to class when she was really going to the prison. And she's like, what are you doing here? Are you stalking me? And he says, well, no, my dad is in prison, explains the whole situation. And definitely not pillow talk, as he said, but questions why Juliet was there, asks if her troubled brother is in jail. And she says, oh, no, I'm just here volunteering.
Then the literacy program.
What does she say? Jail literacy program?
Well, yeah.
Whatever it is.
She just had a quick answer.
She really freaking did. So he, states that they can meet up later at her class, which immediately she looks at her phone and is like, oh my God, my class is canceled. I'm like, oh, so slick.
It's like you're really good at improv, but not good at faking like a phone call
she's
situation.
awful at faking a fake phone call or fake email or whatever.
She's really bad.
Yeah, she's like, oh, we'll just meet up in the city later on. So Juliet gets a call from Ben later. He's upset that she couldn't make their visit, and she explains that Nate was there and his dad was just transferred to his prison, and Juliet tells Ben that Nate is different and maybe he'll understand what they're doing.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? And why would Nate understand it if he's so different? She doesn't want to lie to Nate anymore, but Ben's like not really keen on this, and he's like, you need to check yourself. Hangs up and is like, introduce me to Howie Archibald. Like, this is not
I need
good.
to meet Howie.
Yikes. So Juliet then sees Nate later on, who admits he's been wondering if her brother was actually in prison, and he's been trying to investigate and finding out if her brother is in prison. Because he really is he's like, I'm so paranoid. I don't know how to stop it. I've been burned so many times before. He's literally Vanessa in this situation.
Yes, correct.
Which, I mean, more so in this situation, it's justifiable, but he doesn't know that yet.
Right.
But he just wants to make sure they're totally open and honest with each other. And Juliet agrees, and she's like about to tell him something. But in that, he gets a phone call from the prison saying that his dad was attacked, and can you come to the hospital because, he took a bad beating, I guess. And Nate's like, gotta go. So then Nate goes to see Howie, and he admits that, he's so proud of his dad, and Howie's saying how he won't let them give him anything stronger than a Tylenol. Like, he's got his sobriety down pat. And Nate wishes that Anne could see how great he is. And Michelle's like, I'm sorry, who?
And who? Okay. Nice drop of a name. Thank you so much.
Yeah. He's like, oh, maybe once I get parole, Anne will come back and see how great I'm doing. So our last scene at the Empire, Nate calls Juliet, and she's breaking up with him, and she's crying, and he's like, okay, this is because my dad's in jail. You're a shallow bitch like everyone else I know in this world. Let me help you out, and hangs up the phone. And so as she hangs up, she's like, I gotta go. It's revealed that she's waiting in Colin's apartment. Colin, what's his name? Forrester, the professor, the big business mucky muck. She's waiting in his apartment.
Whoa.
Yeah, did not see this coming.
No, good job, writers.
And she's like, I decided to pour myself a drink. And he's like, oh, okay. I guess you're here for your check. She's like, oh, I guess I'm so predictable. He's like, how's it going? This should cover it all. She's like, it's definitely harder than I expected it to be. And he goes, yeah, let's toast to patience.
What? So good, though.
So good.
But really good.
I said that's literally the saving grace of the entire episode.
Yeah, because this episode was bad.
It was a hot mess. It was just a hot mess with, I mean, it wouldn't have been so bad if we had Jenny, Tim Gunn, Dan, Nate, Juliet stuff, but the Chuck and Blair stuff just so over.
Well, also the Serena and the Colin stuff is so inappropriate.
It is inappropriate, but honestly, I'd rather have that than have the chair stuff.
Yeah, no, me too.
Even though it's done, I just literally said how this is exactly the trip 2.0.
Yeah.
But whatever.
At least we knew who Triple actually was, and we had Maureen.
We had Maureen, who, shout out to Will.
Shout out to
Maureen.
Will.
Yeah, so I am so excited to talk about this episode with Adrian. When we come back from break, we're going to have Adrian on. We're going to open up with your questions, and I'm really freaking excited.
Yeah,
Yay!
me too.
Hello, Three Gossip Girl listeners. My name is Adrian. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a passionate entrepreneur, podcast consultant, and the host of She's So Cool, a female empowerment podcast designed to help you uplevel your mindset and your business by providing you with stories about and interviews with strong and influential women who are pursuing their passions in life. On my show, I have narrative episodes about the lives of many household names, like Lizzo, Yoko Ono, Princess Diana, and more. I've also interviewed some really incredible women, like Ashley Flowers of Crime Junkie Podcast, Zulfa Ishak of The Cosmic Feminist, and Sam Laura Brown of The Perfectionism Project. She's So Cool also discusses the psychosocial phenomena that impact women and how to overcome them, so that you can experience more happiness and success in your life and business. These topics include things like self-care, imposter syndrome, perfectionism, and more. I invite you to add She's So Cool to your regular podcast rotation, where each episode will inspire you to embrace who you are, love yourself fiercely, and pursue your dreams. Before we get back to the show, like many of you, I watched Gossip Girl back when it was on TV, and I stuck through to the end because I really wanted to know who Gossip Girl was. I want you to DM me on Instagram at FemPower Media if you also know who Gossip Girl is and what your reaction was when you found out. I look forward to chatting with you soon.
Welcome back from break. We are joined with the infamous Adrian from FemPower Media and She's So Cool podcast, as you guys have just heard during the break. Now, I feel like our listeners know She's So Cool, but I feel like you should tell them a little bit more about FemPower Media and like how you potentially help new podcasters and fellow podcasters out there. Like, tell them the gist of what you do.
Well, things are really transforming. I'll be honest with you. Things are kind of in a really it's a really exciting time for FemPower Media. I actually just announced recently that I'm doing a network expansion. And so up until this point, I have done podcast consulting for entrepreneurs as well as corporations to help them get their, business-based podcasts up and running, which has been super fun and just really, really rewarding. But my brand has been kind of all about like me and my services, and I want it to be more of a community. So that's kind of where this network expansion is coming from. So I actually have an open call right now for any and all podcasters who identify as female, who are speaking about topics in the realms of entrepreneurship, self-improvement, social justice, and spirituality. So if any of your listeners are aspiring podcasters or existing podcasters speaking about those topics, I would love for them to apply.
Would be so awesome. Imagine if one of our TBM went over to FemPower Media and we had little baby.
Actually,
would be so awesome.
Yeah, I'm actually, advertising this for podcasters, but also wanting to partner with like podcast producers and marketers and editors and managers. And so I know that you guys are pretty well versed in GarageBand. So I know Michelle and I talked a little bit about you guys potentially providing like editing services or like training people how to edit in GarageBand. So if that's something that you guys would be interested in, we could collaborate and have Total Betty Media like kind of involved in supporting the people in the network. And obviously you guys will be compensated for that. So if that's something that you guys are like, yeah, we want to dive into that, but we just don't know how, the network expansion might be the perfect opportunity for you.
Sounding pretty good.
Our people have to call your
Our
people.
people have to call your people, but our eyebrows are raised.
No, that sounds amazing. And I have to say, just from meeting, when we first met to where you are now, I'm just so proud and smile every time I'm on Instagram and I see a post, and then I like audio Adrian my audio messages like, girl, and I'm like screaming into the phone to her. So I'm just so excited and happy for you.
You're so sweet. Thank you so much. Yeah, things are changing a lot. I'm really excited to share more updates with you guys soon. But, I would love for you guys to provide other people with support through Total Betty Media. I think that there's a lot that you guys obviously are doing. Like the fact that you guys are showing up on your social media profiles a lot more is really exciting. So I can't wait to see where you guys take everything that you're doing as well. And I'm here to support you however I can.
Thanks, Adrian.
We really appreciate that.
Of course.
Of course.
I wish we could see each other right now.
Oh, I know, right? If there are any updates that you have, we will definitely be sharing. And especially if anyone's interested in applying for this amazing opportunity, then I hope it all works out.
Yeah, all the information will be in the show notes.
We'll have
and feel free to edit any of what I said out, obviously. So I won't be offended if you like edit most of that stuff out. I'm just speaking directly to like.
We're very transparent here.
Okay.
All right, Adrian. So we have some questions from our listeners, but I do have a few of my own first. Do you have a favorite character in Gossip Girl?
I think that's kind of hard.
I know.
I think they're all kind of unlikable.
Yes.
For the most part. I would say, even though Blair is kind of like a villain, I think that a lot of her like not so great characteristics actually come from like insecurities. And I can kind of like, when I watched this show, I felt really connected to her because Serena, I'm just like, okay, you're just like too perfect. Yeah. You're like too good to be true. Whereas Blair is a little bit more relatable. The things that she goes through, even though she's a lot meaner than most of us are, I would say she's a very strong like female character. And so I guess I would have to say Blair.
I love that. I feel like that's a very popular opinion.
It's been the favorite.
Yeah, it definitely has.
Yeah, she's very popular.
Surprisingly for Michelle and I, who have so many choice words to say about Blair lately in the podcast, but I understand why people gravitate towards her, though. She's a force.
Yeah, she is a force. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's good at what she does. You can't deny that.
Right.
How many times in total have you watched Gossip Girl? And did you watch it live when it aired? Did you kind of pick it up when it was on streaming sites?
Yeah, so I started watching it in college. So I think I started watching it maybe a year or two after it started airing because I just looked it up beforehand. It started in 2007. I would say I probably started watching it in 2009. Mm-hmm. And I think I've only seen the show all the way through one time.
Wow.
And then like random episodes here and there. Maybe I've seen twice, but.
All right. So you're like dipped your toes in it a little bit. You're no expert, but you've seen the whole series, so you know what to expect.
Like I hate watched it towards the end there because I had grown out of the show, but I needed to know who Gossip Girl was.
Yes.
And I'm sure you have other people who are the same. So yeah, I finished the show because I was like, I didn't watch all these episodes not to find out like the most major mystery from the show. Yeah.
100%. I can totally get that.
Adrian, did I tell you that Gossip Girl got spoiled for me?
Yes, I need to hear the story.
Yeah.
I need to hear the story.
I will have to send you the story off mic because we keep it spoiler free here. But yeah, that happened.
Did you tell the story on the podcast?
I did
or no?
in our season 4 premiere episode.
Yes,
Okay, I'll go listen to that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go listen to that.
But
oh my
it's
gosh,
been fun now because now we have this After Dark segment, and so every week I go into why I think this person. There's no way,
or there is a
or
way.
there is a way.
Yeah,
kind of like a detective.
Wait, was I in the After Dark? Okay, so my question for you is. Do you say, like, before the After Dark section, like, okay, there's spoilers ahead, so if you don't want to know, like, don't keep listening?
Yeah, After Dark is only for spoilers. I mean, yeah,
okay, because I talked about who Gossip Girl was in my After Dark segment that I sent. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
No, that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted Michelle
I figured.
to, okay. Okay, I'm so excited.
Okay. Yeah, great.
Okay, awesome. All right, so we'll start with a question from Mike at Del_Vasto. Wants to know, what do you think is Nate's A-game pillow talk, being that Howie being in jail is not A-game pillow talk?
Oh my God. I don't have the personality or the humor to respond to that question.
Right? Like, what is Nate talking about during pillow talk?
Yeah.
I don't think I want to know. But also, maybe he's just really basic. Like, I don't know if he means pillow talk and, like, not dirty talk.
No.
But, like, pillow talk and, like,
right.
We just did it. Let's have, like, some conversation. So what does Nate talk about on a daily?
He's just very vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
He's just very vanilla. Like, there's no personality. He is only looks. Like, he is very attractive.
Yes, he
but
is.
his personality is lacking. He's like Wonder Bread. But I will say that I took notes. I don't know if most of your guests take notes, but I wanted to make sure that I had some stuff to refer to.
No, we love a prepared guest.
Love that Nate and Dan are kind of like friends right now.
Yes, we
I
appreciate
love
their
it.
friendship as well.
We ship them Pate.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, we really enjoy them, their found friendship, because they're kind of similar.
Kind of.
in their,
I mean,
like,
if
vibe.
anything, Nate, he's a good friend
He is a good friend
and
lover.
and
Or so I think. I mean, he's been with a lot of people. But.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mike, for your question. We have Tish at Tish_Dominique124 asked, do you think Blair has a right to banish Jenny from the city, even if it was for a college?
No,
she's not God.
absolutely not. Okay, so Adrian, you're a fan of Blair, and the unpopular vote amongst our listeners and the general audience of Gossip Girl is they do not like Jenny. I personally like Jenny. She is one of my favorite characters, and especially in this episode. And so Jenny is the one who finally made Chuck and Blair come to a resolution in this episode. And Jenny popped. She popped, and I would have done the same thing. So I want to know, what do you think? Do you think Blair has the right to ban Jenny?
Absolutely not, especially in a city so large. Like, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But she's like on a freaking power trip. And the thing that's crazy is that Jenny is like genuinely following the rules. If that were me, if I were Jenny, I would be like, fuck that. Like, she can't tell me where I can be and what I can do. That's ridiculous, regardless of the fact of the circumstances that she's upset about.
It baffles my mind. And I guess she was just so concerned that Blair was going to ruin this Tim Gunn interview. And so she didn't want to step on anyone's toes. But it's like, what's the worst Blair could do to you if you stayed around in the city? What is she really going to do to you? I mean, she's really going to waste her time making Jenny's life a living hell. Like, it's so pathetic.
Right.
Like,
Gossip Girl.
Blair, the whole interaction. So I took notes on their interaction after Blair, like, discovered Jenny in the room. And she's like, you were banished. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, you have no right to do or say that. Like, you can't banish someone from New York City. Who the fuck do you think you are?
I mean, does anyone have a right to banish anyone to anywhere? I mean, it's just so crazy to me. But
it is crazy.
this is the realm of Gossip Girl, and I guess it's acceptable here because it's a soap opera.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Well, one of the most ridiculous things that she said, she was like, a Jenny-free holiday season. It's been on my wish list for quite some time.
Like, please, Jenny home for Thanksgiving and Christmas is the worst thing that's going on in Blair's life. Like, you need to check yourself, Blair.
Yeah.
You have a lot of other things going on.
And I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but I don't know if this is like Taylor Momsen, like the actress changed a lot, but like her demeanor and her voice sounds really different than in previous seasons.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys know anything about Taylor Momsen. She may or may have, I don't know if she like had some personal life drama going on, but like her whole vibe was so different that I'm like, this has to be more than just her character being different.
Yeah, I think Taylor Momsen kind of had this like, I don't know the word to use. Like, she just kind of grew into herself in a way that she felt like was her right path. And I'm not saying it is or isn't, but I feel like this is her like finding herself. And she's like, well, I'm not going to be that little goody two shoes girl that you see in season 1. I'm going to transition how I want to. And like the writers kind of have to like just work around me. That's how I
Do you
assume.
know if, okay, I wonder if there are any articles about that.
I'm sure there are things. I mean, I've heard in the past, like she has a band called The Pretty Reckless, and she was really heavily focused on her music. And at this time, kind of took a step back from the show because she wanted to focus on music. So I don't know if it was like that transition of, no, I really want to focus on my music. I'm going for a different vibe. And like maybe the show was like, well, we're not really going for that vibe of Jenny. And they maybe had to write it in somehow. I'm not really too sure. But
Honestly, it kind of reminds me of like, you know, Disney stars, like, you know, how these like Disney stars oftentimes they play extremely like innocent characters, and then they want to like, it's similar to Harry Potter as well. They want to like separate themselves from their character, and then they kind of just like go off in a completely different direction. That's kind of the vibe I got from the actress in this episode. I could be totally wrong. That could have just been actually Jenny. But I was like, something weird's going on here.
I don't
like
think,
her voice
I don't
sounds
think you're
different.
wrong. I think she just was like, no, this is me. I'm not going to like sugarcoat it or try and act like I'm anything different than this. And that's like kind of how her transition from like really like season 3 into season 4.
You're talking about Taylor portraying, because I agree with you too, Adrian. I felt that she seemed just different, like I don't know, more muted, just
like
voice
kind
was
of
different, more monotone,
like we're more reserved.
Yeah, and so I don't know if that's Taylor being like, this is who I am and I'm portraying Jenny this way now.
I think that's what it is. Yeah. Like she's like, I'm gonna take me and put her into Jenny, as opposed to like me changing the way she's changing the way she sees Jenny because she's like changed herself.
Right.
But
yeah, interesting.
Yeah, no, it's you definitely notice it.
Oh, for sure. For
sure. She goes from being this little innocent girl to this very dark girl overnight, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, like, I'm not overnight, but definitely a transition where you see it happening.
I guess that's what the country does to you, huh?
You know, one of my favorite quotes from this episode was when Jenny was talking to Eric. And he was like, she's the Wicked Witch of the Upper East Side.
Loved it.
Like,
so good. One of my faves.
I just like can't imagine like what it was like in the writer's room writing for these characters. Like, do you think they were writing these scripts like very seriously, or do you think that they kind of played around with it and had fun? It's kind of hard to tell.
It's hard to tell. I feel like they all kind of put their Kristen Bell voice on and was like, let's do the script tonight. And like just wrote it out in the most sassiest and bizarre way they could.
Witch of the Upper East Side. Ooh, that's good.
Yeah. And they're like, they just think it's hysterical. Or maybe this is just the vibe they were going for this show, because you know, as everyone knows, Josh Schwartz and Stephanie Savage did The OC, which the vibe is like a night and day compared to this. And I mean, The OC does have like those witty moments, but not so much where it's such like a
This is a soap opera.
yeah, it's just everything is over the top, over exaggerated.
Over the top, over the top, over the top. I have another
Everything.
quote for you that's just totally over the top that I have to share. So she's like, okay, Jenny's talking to Eric and Dan, and she's like, she's given me a day pass as long as I don't see or talk to anyone. It's 100% vintage crazy ass Blair. I have no interest in going back to being G.I. Jenny and warring with Blair. I'm just like, ugh. So much of this is just like
Ridiculous.
over the top dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Chuck alone is over the top dramatic.
Yeah.
The way he dresses, the way he speaks, he's Batman/vampire. You can never understand. It's so low talking. His
Yeah.
briefcase and stupid suit.
At school.
I don't like Chuck, Adrian.
Obviously.
You don't like Chuck?
I can't stand him. He is a toxic male. He's bad news bears. And I can't stand Cher either, so it's a problem. So I apologize to our listeners always, every week. But also I don't need to apologize. It's how I feel.
it's how you feel.
No.
But Chuck is,
Yeah.
talk about over the top. Chuck is over the
he's
top.
like so over the top.
He's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's similar to Blair. Like, and we saw
Yeah.
some of that in this
Yep.
episode of like, they both have issues, they both have insecurities, and that kind of like works for them, right? I think they're actually a really good couple because of like the complementary issues that they have. They can kind of understand each other in a way. And that might be part of the appeal of why so many people like that
Yes.
relationship.
I think so.
I mean, even in this episode, he's getting a massage, she's getting a massage.
I know.
They are each other's counterparts. And I have always said they are meant for each other. They're just
Because nobody else
no one
should have
else
that.
can deal with each of them.
It's so true. Yeah. Tish adds, were you shocked to see Juliet with Colin at the end? I was. This is my first time seeing this scene. So I was like, oh my goodness. What a showstopper.
Screamed. Hey, props to the writers. This saved the episode.
It saved the episode, yeah.
Whoa.
I agree.
Did you enjoy
Yeah,
this
that was-
episode overall, Adrian? What did you think of it overall? Because Michelle and I felt like it was pretty inappropriate and lacking until that last
We were
scene.
screaming. I mean,
Yeah.
I yelled a lot at the TV.
So I'll be honest, like I haven't watched any season 4 episodes up to this point. So I'm like kind of confused about some things.
Yeah, it's
because I
tricky,
haven't
right?
watched this show in like years. I would say as a standalone episode, I enjoyed it. You know, it was fine. I don't really know. Yeah, the mystery of how Juliet and Colin are connected is very interesting and will probably make the next episode really good. I would say it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't have any like strong feelings one way or another. I do want to say though that like, okay, Blair, I just can't. You know, she's had these minions since high school and she goes over to her minions and she's like, I need you 3 little pigs to huff and puff over to the Vanderwoodsons. And then I literally had to pause the show because one of the minions is Amy Santiago from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes.
Yeah.
This has been talked about in the past, and I can't believe how long she was actually a character on this show. I thought it was just a one-time thing. But
oh
it
my
wasn't.
gosh. And I will say too, you know, Tim Gunn is the reason why I picked this episode.
I knew it.
But then, and I don't know how political you guys get on the show, but like I wrote all caps, gross alert, Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner are on this episode. I was disgusted.
The fact that Colin says that Jared that isn't like an eligible bachelor or something, I was like, why are you saying this?
But like in all honesty, and
this
I
was
mean,
2010.
No, that's fine. But the Vanderwoodsons would totally roll with
they
the Trumps.
totally would.
You know,
Oh,
it's
sure.
just
Yeah.
their people.
It's their
Absolutely.
people. Gross.
You know, Blair did have like a pretty like intelligent, really good joke that I think probably didn't land when I watched it the first time and probably doesn't land for most people, at least in a pre 2020 world. So she's talking to the primary minion and she says, Penelope, this isn't Congress. Accomplish something.
Yes,
Yeah.
we love
So
this.
I was just like, oh my God. And the fact that Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner were in this episode, I was like, this is such a full circle moment.
Right? It's like such a time
she's
bubble
making-
in an
Yes.
episode.
And she made just such a great joke about something political, which was really surprising for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, I that was one of my favorite quotes. I wrote that down.
Yeah. So
Now,
good.
obvious, we were talking about this in recap, but I wanted to get your opinion, Adrian, of Serena and the professor and the words spoken back and forth of how he's like, hey, you can put off taking that class so we can date, essentially. And we were thinking probably 30.
Yeah, how old do you
and
think
she's
he
19.
is?
It's very inappropriate.
You know what? I said I was going to look that up during break, and I didn't. And I'm going to look up how old he is now.
And obviously, towards the end, we see him and Juliet are working together, obviously, and I'm not sure how. And obviously, there's a motive, but it just was uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, very uncomfortable. Yeah. And I'm just when I was watching all of that, I was putting myself back into college and that I would never, if that had been the situation where, leading up to the morning, you can't change the past. But once you have the information that this is your professor and he's an authority figure over you and he is in charge of your grades and all of that, I probably would have dropped out of the class and not dated him. I would not have taken the class or dated him. I would have cut ties completely. Because that's just a really uncomfortable situation. And the fact that he is encouraging her to drop out of the class is so inappropriate.
Right. And then even
Agreed.
at the end where he says, oh no, well, you inspired me to be a better teacher. You stay in my class. And it's only 6 weeks, so we'll just
we
wait.
can be fine. We'll be fine. Patience.
He's
44 in real life now.
Okay, so we have to do math.
Yeah, so math, what?
But
Okay,
even
33.
but I just don't know what the
right?
character. Right. How old is the character?
Right. It doesn't tell me on the wiki, unfortunately, which
Damn.
is annoying. But it did tell me one thing on the wiki, which I'm like, oh, okay, makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know yet, 'cause I've
Honestly,
only seen one episode prior.
I'm just kind of disappointed in Serena being okay, that sounds good.
It doesn't
It's
even
just
faze me.
girl.
This is her. This
This
is her
is
MO.
her
This is what
all
she does.
the time.
Every guy. Oh, I write.
I did make a note though. Most, I will be honest, most of the outfits I see in Gossip Girl, some of them are good. Most of them are just so 2000s that it makes me want to vomit. But Serena's dress at that party, it was extremely revealing.
Oh, yeah.
But it was also very fashion forward than most
peplum?
of the outfits. Yeah, and it was her whole chest and her boobs looked very
it was
nice,
really
but
good looking.
that's your professor, and you're just gonna be all out there. Yeah, but
Serena.
part of me was just I did not like the interactions between Serena and Lily, and I know that she was using reverse psychology on Serena, but even still, those comments that she made will be detrimental
I
for
can't
Serena's
imagine my
mental
mom
health.
saying that to me,
Oh my
and coming back
God.
from that and feeling okay about yourself.
Yeah.
It's not good.
She said, we both know you would have moved on to classes more your speed eventually. I literally wanted to punch her
Yeah, not
in
good.
that moment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's tough.
Tish wants to know, Adrian, what actually originally made you want to watch Gossip Girl, and how do you feel about the reboot? Are you planning on watching any of it?
Oh my God, I didn't even know there was a reboot.
Yeah, it's so tricky because I don't really want to read many articles on it just because I didn't get myself involved. We're focusing on this one show right now, and I don't want to get myself involved in that. But from what I understand,
I'm definitely going to look that up.
Yeah, it's the same concept, and from what I heard, some cast members are going to be in it.
Oh my
as
God.
guest appearances, maybe not as full-time actors on the show, but it's kind of like just the new class, and there's the same type of high school drama and a Gossip Girl.
Right. It's like Degrassi being redone,
class,
or
exactly.
like Boy Meets World and then Girl Meets World. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to look up information about the Gossip Girl reboot. I had no idea that was a thing. The other question, what were the other questions?
What made you originally want to watch the series? Was there any pull towards it? Did someone recommend it to you?
Yeah. So I think it's something that I watched like with my hallmates and then my roommates. So it was something that like we had in common and that we would like make a ritual out of. And then once I no longer lived with those people, I really wanted to know who Gossip Girl was. So I am like such a sucker mysteries. Like that's why I really want you guys to do Pretty Little Liars. I know there are other people out there who want it. So I'm just going to say that. Have either of you guys seen it?
Yes, I have painstakingly watched the entire series.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't really
the first few seasons were really good.
Yes, that's how I feel as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I started watching it just because it was like a social thing that I was doing with friends, and then ended up sticking with it just so I could find out who Gossip Girl was.
Yeah, makes sense. But I can see the appeal. And then as I did, I dropped off after season 3. So I just got summaries from my sister, kind of what was happening each week or in each season. And then she was telling me who Gossip Girl was. So I was like, oh, wait, how is this possible? And so now I'm like reliving it for the first time, even though I know like so much that happens and so many points and who's connected to what and this and that. It's so interesting to see for the first time. So when I saw that last scene of Juliet with Colin, I was like, what is happening?
I know. I felt the same way.
So I'm excited for this.
The same way.
I'm excited to see this play out, you know?
I don't know. Do we know who that guy in jail is that Juliet is talking to?
It's her brother.
We know it's her brother.
Well, loose quotes, right?
Loose quotes that it's her brother.
So far.
But know some gist of what's to come with that, but Michelle doesn't know.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure how much has been revealed in previous episodes leading up to this.
No, that's pretty much
you can tell it's super sketchy.
Yes, and he's very controlling, and his vendetta is to literally take Serena down and kick her out of Colombia. But why? Adrian's like, I know. Will asks, Michelle, when do you think Jenny will return to the Upper East Side? I guess if ever.
I'm sad. I don't think she's going to return for another till like the end of this season or next season.
So just like one more appearance.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, she's not on the island, so not to
Thank
worry.
goodness.
Yeah. Audrianne.Speedell asks, why do you think Ben wants to know so much, and why did he attack the captain?
Well, I think he attacked the captain because he's mad at Juliet.
Send the message
Send
to
a
Juliet.
message of you better back down or else I'll do more.
Why do you think he's so like possessive over her?
I think because she's getting distracted. She's supposed to have one goal and one, thought
mission,
and it's to take down Serena, and she's getting distracted with Nate.
With Nate and his body and face and smile.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't get
and his pillow talk.
Yeah, and his pillow talk, his game A pillow talk.
He honestly looks like a Ken doll.
Yeah, he's so beautiful. Like too beautiful.
Yeah,
almost.
he's like Paul Walker. It's just like, what?
Oh, yeah.
God, Paul Walker. God. Gorgeous face. Gorgeous man. Crystal at Chrismall asks, wow, that word did not come out of my mouth. How would we deal with Jenny coming back into town? I guess if I'm putting myself in like Blair's shoes, or like whose shoes am I putting myself in? Because if it's in my shoes, I don't care, Jenny, take down the whole world, whatever. But if I'm in Blair's shoes, then I would probably not be too happy about this. And also it's like, she's not, what is she going to do to you, Blair? Really? What's her being there doing to you? Nothing.
Yeah, I don't. What would I do? Am I?
What
I
would
guess
I
I'm
do?
Blair. Am I?
Are we like, maybe we're just in Gossip Girl realm and we go to Columbia? Like, what would we do if Jenny Humphrey came back into town?
And I'd be like, if I'm at Columbia, I'd be like, who's Jenny Humphrey? Because
Exactly.
nobody knows.
Who's Blair Waldorf?
Right.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. What about you, Adrian?
Yeah, I think that's really tough. If it were just me, I would be like, hey, girl, welcome back.
Right.
But
What's up,
if
Jenny?
I were Blair, if I were Blair, obviously I would not be happy. I don't think I would banish her. But I think I would probably try to have a conversation and say, like, I understand that we run in the same circles. Let's come up with some rules where this is like a fair compromise for both of us.
Mhm.
Depending on like how well I've processed the news, right? So like if it's still really raw, maybe I wouldn't be ready for that conversation, but that conversation needs to happen at some point because their circles are so intermixed. It's not possible to not have one of them around every once in a while.
Right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Very level-headed response. Sorry, not very
Exactly.
dramatic.
No, I mean, hey, we're the most level-headed. That's why this show is just so ridiculous to us that all these things happen and things they could have been avoided, but of course
Yeah.
are not.
Mhm.
I put off watching this show for so long, and
Yeah.
everyone knows OC is my favorite. And so I'm like, oh my God, Josh Orr, Stephanie Savage, the OC is my favorite. This will be, and I watch it and I was like, well, save it for the podcast. When you're going to do a podcast, it's so different than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Like,
I know
yeah.
it is.
So
How many
different, not
seasons
even-
are there?
Of this one, 6.
Yes.
Okay.
And the last season
So you've
is
got
like
2 more
10
seasons.
episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quick, the last season. So we're like pretty much more than halfway done with the show.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not, it just, my memory didn't serve me correctly on how absolutely ridiculous the show was. Like, I remember like absolutely loving the first season and the second season. And like, back then I was like team chair. I was like, yes, this is so great. Let them be together. And that whole Victor Victrola episode, I'm like, yay, this is amazing. And then rewatching it, I was like, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
I was like,
I think
and I was
watching the
older.
show.
You know, I was like 19
Oh,
watching the show.
really?
And I was like, this is amazing. Ay.
Yeah, I think watching the show as like an adolescent / like early 20s versus late 20s, early 30s is a very different experience.
Yes.
Plus, like our society has just changed so much since this show came out.
Totally. Yeah. And it makes us see it in a completely different light. Completely different.
Yeah.
So, yeah. A lot of it is not okay today.
No, it's not okay.
Yeah.
Just at Mrs. Boquist, she says, predictions for Juliet, Colin, Ben, Michelle.
Ooh, my predicts.
Little predicts.
Little predicts for this. So I feel like I'm still processing Juliet and Colin working together. At first, I thought this was a whole family situation, like they're brothers. I mean, like Ben and Colin are brothers,
Okay.
and Juliet is the sister, and they're working. But then
Why would he pay his sister?
Why would he pay his sister? And then I was like, oh, they are coworkers, and they're working for like a higher intel for something.
Taking down the Vanderwoods.
That's right. That's what we're doing here. But that's not the case. And so now I have no idea how they're connected, but he paid her, right?
He wrote her a check.
He wrote her a check. I could see it of, okay, somehow Juliet and Ben hired Colin.
Like they need money.
Or they're like, we need you to get Serena and bring her down. You're our connection to Columbia. But he's not new to Columbia. Is he first time professor there?
I think so.
I think
Which is crazy.
I think they said new professor.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. They did say that. So how convenient. He got a new professor job. She is a student.
In his class.
She's a student there. Juliet's a student there at Columbia.
Oh, yeah. And Juliet goes to Columbia.
And she was a key holder at the
Hamilton
House. Right. This is all very...
It's so convenient.
And also this had to have been in the works for a very long time.
Right. Because
how do you just show up and decide I'm a professor?
There's a lot that goes along with this plan. So
been a very thought out plan.
Mm-hmm.
This is me trying to come up with an answer and just explaining with all the facts when I really don't have an answer yet.
That's okay. You can marinate a little bit more and, come down to my 3 gossip birds and maybe you'll have a little bit more predictions.
Okay.
But she also wants to know, how long do you think the chair truce will last?
Oh, like, I don't know, 3 episodes.
And then they'll go back to hating each other?
No, I think, I don't know.
Loving each other?
No. Something will spark something to do. Like a light tiff will happen in 3 episodes.
Okay. I love when she gives like an exact number. Something will happen in 3 episodes. She's like, Juliet will be here until episode 8. I'm like, okay, sure. Vic at Muschick says, welcome, Adrian. She asks this question to everyone. How do you feel about Vanessa and Jenny? Since everyone seems to not like them.
Oh, I think Vanessa's like the most annoying character ever.
Everybody hates. I like Vanessa.
She's like not my favorite at this point, but she's not like, the worst, I guess. Not yet, maybe.
I think the issue that I have with her, and this is just from what I remember watching the show, is she has a very like woe is me attitude, and I'm just like not here for it. I'm like, girl, you could be a badass, but instead you're just like being really annoying and like wanting people to feel bad for you, and it's really annoying.
Yeah, that's what mostly everyone says. When they're in their defense of why they don't like Vanessa, they're like, she's always blaming everyone for her problems. And
yeah. And it's just like, I think that she could have played a more powerful, more like, strong role
character.
Yeah. And it's just like, and the writers just made her like kind of pitiful, which is really unfortunate because there's not a whole lot of people of color on the show, and they made her like this really unlikable, annoying character.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
As far as Jenny,
did her dirty.
Yeah, they did. Like, she could have been a total badass who like made the show so much better, but hindsight. And as far as Jenny, I feel very indifferent to her. I think like you go through waves, like she's just like, she's trying to find herself. And I actually really liked her towards the end of the episode where she was just like, she texted Gossip Girl, which whatever. She texted Gossip Girl about sleeping with Chuck, and then Dan was like, this isn't you, like you're better than that. And then she was like, you know what, I am. And I was just like, yeah, girl, like you made a mistake, we all do, but she like, she came back from it, so I give her props for that.
Yeah, that's Michelle and I agreed with that earlier in the episode. What else do I have? She wanted to know what you like about Gossip Girl. I think we kind of went into that a little bit. And, Michelle, do you think Juliet will tell Nate what's actually going on with her?
I think she's going to try. Yeah.
Will Ben allow it?
Yeah. Well, Ben won't know.
Ooh,
I think Juliet's going
back.
to try to become a good character, and it's going to fail.
Oh, so she's gonna like have a realization of I should be not doing this because I actually like these people,
right?
Like that. I like.
Yeah,
that
I feel
her.
like they've. Yeah, I feel like they've kind of shown a little bit of that,
right?
Yeah, like
also,
a very tiny bit.
I feel like Juliet looks way too old to be a college student.
We say this every episode. She's 30.
We've
she
talked
pretty
about
much
this so much.
Everyone says it.
Her fashion choices are very dated and aged looking.
Yes.
And just her demeanor is very 30. She's just very 30.
Are her eyebrows plucked like a lot? Or is that just...
I think everyone's eyebrows are super thin. Like Lily's in this episode. I was like, wow. And even Blair's, I think it was Angelina, who said, she's like, this is a season Blair's eyebrows get really bad. I I was like, I think that's just the trend. Like, I always say, and it's so funny, I was actually talking to my mom about this, where she was showing me her Facebook memories because today is my sister's birthday and her 21st birthday was 7 years ago. And so she showed me this. I was like, ooh, B-E. We always say before eyebrows because in like, before like 2015, we started penciling in our eyebrows, and every time we see us without eyebrows, we're like, BE, this is not a good look. It's not a good look because, you know, we grew up in the age where you pluck the shit out of your eyebrows, and that was it, and it scarred us for life. Yeah. And, you know, that was the 90s, 2000s, so, you know, it sucks. It is what it is for us, but it's crazy to see me without eyebrows. I'm like, who am I? So it's funny to see like the fashion choices is so dated, and then the eyebrows are so dated. Yeah, I love it though.
Yeah,
Adrian, this was just so much fun. We loved hearing all of your Gossip Girl thoughts. This is just so great. If you could remember, do you think you have a favorite season? Does it start in the beginning? I know you said you trailed off and you didn't love it as much towards the end.
Yeah, I would say I don't know enough about the show to have a favorite season.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my favorite thing about the show is just the mystery of trying to figure out who Gossip Girl is. So I love that you guys have this After Dark segment now, because that actually adds an element of interest for the second half of this show for you. Because now you can look at it through the lens of like, yeah, does this make sense? Does this not make sense? Did the writers like do a good job of like writing Gossip Girl for this specific character given what's happening in each episode, which I think is a really interesting thing to look at.
We agree.
Yeah.
She's like our little promoter.
I know. We started After Dark with Let's Talk OC, and the listeners loved that.
Yes, because Michelle and I both knew what was to come for the OC. I mean, it was a while since I've watched, so Michelle would kind of give me like little light predictions and reminders. So we got to talk about what was going to happen. I loved that because I would like get reminders. But with this, it's like, well, now Michelle knows the big secret.
Yeah.
So we've got to talk about it every episode because so much has happened already in season 4. We're on episode 6. So it's fun. It is fun. But we want to thank you so much, Adrian. This was a blast, as I knew it would be.
Yeah.
Such a great personality, and your enthusiasm is always welcomed. And we're going to have all of your links in the description in the episode, and make sure you check out Adrian. And She's So Cool podcast, which I know you're doing a little bit of a revamp on, right?
Yes, I am. Yes, it's been a long time coming. I've taken about 6 months off just because I was so focused on my business. And then I was planning on relaunching season 5 in the new year, but now I've been super focused on renovating my house. So season 5 is to come. It's going to be different. I think it's going to be even better than before, which is exciting. So it's too soon to tell when I'm going to be able to get season 5 up, but I'm hoping by the end of April. So,
but we look forward to listening to your podcast and the new season whenever that may be, and I'm sure our listeners would love to check it out too. So make sure you go follow Adrian, FemPower Media, and tell her we sent you.
Yes, tell her we said hello.
Yes.
Well, love Adrian so much.
Yeah.
Michelle, can you tell us your origin story of how you met Adrian?
I sure will. Okay, so Adrian and I are both part of the Lady Pod Squad group. Actually, you're a part of that too.
You know, our TBM is a part of it.
Yeah. And they had a mentorship program on there, and I applied to be a mentor. And so Adrian, she emailed me, and we started talking. And I remember looking at her She's So Cool
You were like, she's
Instagram,
so cool.
And I was like, oh my God, she's so cool. You don't need my help. You're amazing. I'm obsessed with your aesthetic. And then we just started talking, and I don't know, I just found like, I felt a soul connection with her.
Totally.
And there's like certain people in your life that you meet, and there's this magnetic attraction, and right away Hopefully she feels the same way about me.
I'm
Because
sure
how creepy would that be, right? But yeah, I just felt like this soul connection with her. And then we just started talking. And I was so fortunate that last year when I traveled to Utah for work, I got to meet her in person.
Yeah, so great.
And we got to go to dinner together. And we took a Tesla Uber. Oh my gosh, Adrian,
So
if
cool.
you're listening, do you remember that? We were both like, oh my God, we're in a Tesla right now. Look at that screen.
That's freaking cool.
Yeah, it was so cool. She's so cool.
Yeah,
And
right?
it was just great. And it was like seeing a friend that I was catching up with
Right.
instead of meeting someone for the first time.
Right. Well, I mean, you've been so verbal back
Yeah.
and forth.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah,
And
she's great. She's been our pod bestie for a while.
for sure, she is
Yeah.
my pod bestie. And I'm really proud of her business and what she's done and where she's going. And she's amazing.
She's
and
incredible. Yeah.
She's incredible. So
yeah.
love
She's
her.
so cool.
She is so cool.
The coolest.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go into some trivia. The episode title is based off the movie Easy A, in which Penn Badgley was in. I love that movie. This is the 5th episode that Blair has a dream in which she is the character played by Audrey Hepburn in a movie. This episode was watched by 1.88 million viewers, which was up from last week's episode. On set, problems were revealed when Entertainment Weekly reported that Tim Gunn was displeased with Taylor Momsen on set's behavior, but enjoyed working with the rest of the cast, calling Penn Badgley in particular a delight to work with. That's some fucking tea right there.
Wait a minute. When did they even have that many scenes together?
Tim Gunn and Taylor were
And
just...
and Padge.
Oh, well, I don't know if they didn't have any scenes together, really, but I guess just working in the background with him, he thought maybe he was super professional or delightful. I don't really know. I don't doubt it, but just interesting, though, especially what Adrian was even bringing up, the fact that maybe Taylor has had like a little bit of an attitude change, and she definitely didn't make a good impression on Tim Gunn.
Wow.
So,
Ooh,
not good.
no.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting trivia. We had some music by Henry Mancini, Jesus Alejandro El Nino, The Black Keys, Shapes of Race Cars, Robin and Roy Kupsup.
Mm-hmm.
Did I get it right? Thank you. You know them?
Mm-hmm.
And Eminem and Rihanna in the last scene. All right, some fashion headbands. I had 4 headbands.
I had 3.
Oh, okay.
So we're close.
Close. I happen to really enjoy Serena's peplum black top with the open and the braid.
I really did like that outfit. I actually like Nate's messy hair.
I don't like it.
Really?
I
just,
like clean.
Oh, no. I like that little, he just put his fingers through it and did a little wiggle. I
Yeah,
like that.
I'll take Nate anyway, don't get me wrong, but I like a clean Nate.
You were very much into Padge. Your thirst level, which we haven't used that in a very long time.
We haven't had a thirst meter in like an entire podcast, like since Let's Talk OC.
Well, let's talk OC.
I mean, Ryan,
Oh,
all over the place.
just in a black t-shirt.
In a black t-shirt, but I don't think I've had like a true thirst on Three Gossip
No, I
Girls.
think Rufus had a
yes,
thirst level.
I do. But for some reason, I don't know if it's like the Padge haircut with all the added facial hair and him in a suit. And I was like, I had to like clean my glasses like Padge? Is that
What's
you?
happening?
Yeah, I was into it. And I
Yeah.
was liking how supportive he was as a brother. And I was like, maybe that's what's making my
I think
pants
also
turn
we
too.
didn't have to deal with him in Vag. So, I mean, him in...
Well, yeah, Vag in general.
Yeah.
Just or him being like condescending, just none of that typical Padge.
Right. So
I was like, that's good.
Mhm,
It's good. Yeah. I did like Jenny's navy blue dress at the party.
Yes.
Lily's bun with the braids. She always has like, this intricate bun, and it always makes me think of in Office Ladies when Angela always tells the stories of her incredible hairstylist. I think it's Kim Ferry is her name. And how they would do these like insane braids, and like how her hair, like she couldn't move her head for like hours. And I'm like, wow, it probably takes so long to do just that like little simple.
Oh,
I mean, it's not simple, but so intricate looking. So I always think of like these hairstylists and how long it takes them to do this.
Oh, I love it. And the fact that they're like, okay, well, we're putting her in this dress. She's wearing this dress because of these, and we're going to pair it with these shoes, and we need her hairstyle to look like this.
You need it. Like
with
you
the
need to
makeup.
figure it out. Exactly. You know, I love it.
Yeah.
I actually did like Penelope's silver dress at the event.
It was, I liked the
that
neckline,
cut.
the cut.
I couldn't wear a cut like
No,
that.
me neither.
But she looks good in
Yeah,
it.
cute.
Did you have anything else you liked? No, you weren't into the fashion this week. It's funny. Jess said she didn't really like anything else either. I did happen to like Blair's makeup at the party. I thought it was
very
really pretty. Serena had those blue booties that she was like walking around in. I think it was at Columbia.
I did like Blair's pajamas. We
I
talked
loved
about
those
that.
pajamas. And I had liked Jenny's khaki green dress with olive green dress with the chains. I did like that. And her eyeshadow was matching too. What about some quotes?
Yeah.
Yesterday's dress with today's shame.
He collects women that he puts in cabs.
Like Chuck and Drag or an actual girl.
I'm sorry, but the chili, the smell, it lingers.
I love that. You can like barely hear it in the background, but there's like that scene between Lily and Rufus.
Yeah.
I'm going to ignore the fact that you have the best problems ever when Dan's talking to Nate about like having sex with Juliet.
What Adrian said, this isn't Congress. Accomplish something.
Mm-hmm. Or a Jenny free holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
Cab guy, what are the odds?
Yeah.
She's violating your order to exile. Like, shut up, Amy.
Up. Right? That's all I had.
I love so dramatic. You should be a writer. And Jenny always has a talent of making your life a living hell. Chuck, we hold on to the pain because it's all we have left, which is, I guess,
the
very
truth
true
for them.
Very true for them.
That should be their mantra motto.
Right? It is so true. MVP and shittiest. I have a blue ribbon for my MVP.
I have one MVP.
Okay.
All
Ready?
right, yep.
3, 2, 1,
Jenny. Oh, okay. Pate?
Pate.
Yeah.
Why did I pick Nate? I guess because he was like open and honest. Mind you, I did my notes a few days ago.
Yeah.
I think more so Padge than Nate. I liked how he was a good sibling, but my blue ribbon was to Jenny.
Yeah, no, Jenny came in, was manipulated, was a pawn. And again, I still stand by her sending out the blast. It might have been immature, but it needed to be done. And really, this is the thing that got Blair and Chuck to come to a truce.
She solved it.
So
well, sort of, but
she made them talk and have a truce.
Right.
Plus, it was just nice to see her.
I know.
So MVP goes to Jenny.
Yeah. Audrienne, Tish, Jess, Lisa, they all picked Jenny as well. Mike and Vic picked Lily for giving the reverse psychology, and Will picked Tim Gunn because, of course, shittiest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, chair.
Oh, chair. Yeah, of course. But so first I had Blair, then I had chair, and then I switched it to Chuck. Because Chuck really is just playing these games.
Right. Like, give it up already at this point.
And not caring who he hurts. Like, you already hurt Jenny. You already hurt the family that is your only family.
And you humiliated her.
Right. But you already know you're on bad terms.
What an idiot.
With
You're
Rufy
right.
and Eric and all of that. And Lily has been the only one who really is there for you and cares for you. And yet it doesn't matter. Let me just use Jenny.
It doesn't
Let me
sink
just use her
in.
again.
He doesn't get it.
No.
It's because he's so numb, and now he just wants to go back to his old Chuck ways because Blair took away Fleur for him, and that's it. Like, that was his future. That was my life. My Henry Prince life.
Boy, bye.
Yeah. And like, I love Jillian in the chat was like, oh, Blair's so accepting of having Chuck come back into her world after he did all that shit to her. Yet she exiles Jenny when it was like, you know, she was.
Well, isn't that always the way?
Yeah,
I feel you hate the female and
of
you
course,
will accept the male again.
But it's like, you know, double standard.
Of
Chuck
course.
is the one who literally destroyed you, and now he's still out to destroy you, and you are mad that Jenny is coming back into town because you can't deal with that. It's just bigger fish to fry, Blair.
Yep.
Mike and Tish also picked Chair. Jess and Vic picked Blair alone by herself. Audrienne picked Juliet. Will picked Ivanka and Jared.
Good choice.
And Lisa picked Ben and Colin together.
Yeah. Good choices.
Yeah. All right, it's time to go into the Betty of the Week.
Betty of the Week.
You're a total Betty. You're a total Betty. You're You're a total Betty.
So this week I picked Kaylee from the UK. Funny, Kaylee, you actually share a last name with my brother-in-law and my sister, which I think is hysterical. So you're really part of the family at this point. She reached out via email stating that last year she discovered Let's Talk OC during a rewatch and during the time went into lockdown. So the podcast became her soundtrack to working from home, and listening to us was like being around friends. She decided to pledge when hearing about the new developments of Total Betty Media and wanted to show some support. She said the OC is her number one. Seth Cohen was her teenage dream, but naturally, coming from the creators of the OC, she got into Gossip Girl when it aired, but like me, fell off somewhere after season 3. However, kept up with the gist of how the series played out. She said after Let's Talk OC came to an end, she wanted to keep listening to us. So she got into 3 Gossip Girls. And unfortunately, Gossip Girls isn't on any of the streaming sites in the UK. So she literally listens to our episodes every week for a summary, which I think is, incredible. And I hope we do a good job that she says we remind her of what happened. So I guess that's good, right?
My face. I'm just like,
she's like, wait, what? And she says, end quote, "Let's be honest, I come here for the chat, segments, and feeling of being around friends. I have finished binging the podcast up to the start of season 4 and should be fully up to date this week. So hello, Kaylee. Hopefully you're up to date now. We love and appreciate you very much." And I titled her Kaylee Cohen because, number one.
I just got chills. Oh my God, I love that so much.
I hope you
Kaylee
get
Cohen.
like a little sticker name tag that says Kaylee Cohen, so you've one day married Seth Cohen.
Yes.
Michelle's like, I'm gonna cry.
I want to be Mitch Ruby Cohen.
Mitch Ruby Cohen.
Oh my God, welcome. That's so awesome.
Yeah, I love
Thank
that
you so
story.
much.
Thank you, Kelly. We really appreciate it.
Wow. Kaylee Cohen.
Kelly Cohen, so
So
cute. Okay, so it's that time where I give you the title for next week. 3 Gossipers. Her pen is clicking. She's ready. Okay, so the title is Season 4, Episode 7, War at the Roses. 3 gossip words.
Wait, I want to say my first thought
Yeah?
was with what's his face? Aaron.
Oh, Aaron Rose, who shall never return again. Her face. Made myself cough.
Okay, sorry.
All right, ready for my 3 gossip words?
3 gossip words.
20. Treaty. Anniversary. Lots of Y's in there.
Oh my goodness. At first,
It's a big episode.
you're like, oh wait, 20th anniversary.
20.
No, I know that.
Okay, just separate
20,
words.
Treaty,
Anniversary.
anniversary. But 20 could either be an age, it could be the number of years of an anniversary,
Mhm.
a treaty. Wow, this is tough. This is really, really tough, Liz. This leaves me with nothing.
Sorry. And really, none of these have to do with Juliet. So
Great. Fantastic.
If I'm just being honest.
Okay. So somebody's turning 20. Wait a minute. Are we in October? It's Blair's birthday. Is Blair turning 20? Blair's turning 20.
I'll give you that.
Blair's turning 20, and it's going to be rose themed. And so there's going to be lots of roses. Oh no. Is Chuck going to come with all these roses? And then she's going to be like, you're supposed to be with me. Midnight. Isn't there like something with midnight and cake? Which party was
Wow, that was like first season.
Yeah, okay. That's what just came back to
Well,
me.
she wanted to be kissed by Nate at midnight, I think, but then Chuck ends up being
gross.
there. Right, guys?
yeah.
Remind us.
Maybe. Okay, so it's Blair's 20th birthday. And maybe her and Chuck, yes, they have this truce, but now they're going to have a treaty that he can attend.
Mm.
The anniversary. Could it be it's the anniversary of... When did Chuck and Blair first kiss? Was that Victrola?
Well, that was their first kiss, yes. And that was time frame.
Yeah,
hard.
but that was their first kiss. It wasn't her 20th birthday.
It wasn't her birthday. No, it wasn't her birthday.
Yeah, okay. So, War at the Roses. I think I'm thinking too much into the title because the titles usually mean
Yeah, the titles are usually
nothing.
iffy.
Mean nothing. All right. 20, roses themed, treaty for Chuck and Blair to come, for Chuck to come to the party. And the anniversary, it's got to be the anniversary. Oh, wait. Is it Bart?
I love watching her face change.
No, because you can see
from a
my
million
thought
emotions.
process.
Yeah, it's amazing.
When did Bart die? Is it the anniversary of Bart's death?
It's not. It's not.
Okay,
no.
well, thank you for not leading me
think
down that route.
We did that end of season 3, right? Or mid-season
In the winter,
3?
right?
Yeah,
Wasn't
it
after
was
the
winter.
holidays?
Yeah, because then that's when the mom came back.
Yeah, okay.
And, you know, it's not
I'm
his.
really digging for like
I
an
know.
anniversary deal here.
You marinate.
I'm going to marinate.
I look forward to your predictions on Wednesday.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll have them up. If you guys aren't following us on Instagram, you should.
What are you
at
doing?
3 Gossip Girls.
Why are you sleeping on
Pod.
that?
But I tell my predictions before every episode.
Yes, she does. And then the episode is played and you guys get to hear what she thought.
That's
so I wanted to give everyone a Will treat before we wrap for After Dark. He says, Gossip Girl characters as colors with no context.
Awesome.
Blair, scarlet. So perfect.
Yeah. Mhm.
Chuck, fuchsia. I mean, he does like purple, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Fuchsia's like a mix of pink and purple. Dan, pewter.
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
Serena, bumblebee. Is that like yellow? I could see that. Nate, sky blue.
I was going to say blue.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Jenny, crimson. Yes. Eric, Kelly green.
Cute.
Aw. Rufus, mocha.
Yep.
Lily, platinum. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Will.
So
we love the
good.
treat.
Thanks,
It's the
Will.
best. Guys, this is your reminder. My PSA every time I wrap the episode. If you are loving this show, we would love and appreciate you going over to iTunes, Apple Podcast, leaving us a rating and review. You don't understand how much this means to our podcast, our little network. It really helps out the show tremendously, helps our show get higher on the charts. That way we can have more people listening and we have a bigger community just wants to talk to you guys about Gossip Girl. We love, obviously, discussing this crazy show. Wanted to thank Badass Adrian again for joining us. Definitely go check out her podcast. Go check out her company. If you're interested in becoming a part of FemPower Media, definitely reach out to her. As we said, the links will be in the description of the episode. And actually next week, we are having another podcast duo on. Sisters Carrie and Allison from Hold Up Podcast will be joining us, so make sure you send some questions their way. And teaser, we're going to be on their podcast too, guys. We're super excited.
We're really excited for that. Before we do end, and speaking of sisters, I just want to say a very happy birthday to Shanna.
Shanbanan. Today she turns 28 as we were recording this. So
28?
I know, it's gross, right?
What? Ew.
I'm gonna send her some skincare. You know, it's like you need to have already been starting this at like 25, but it's like
Is she really 28?
I know. When I think of my sister turning 30, I go, "There's no way my sister can turn 30 because then I'd be 34 years old." Like what?
I'm turning 34.
I know you are,
so
but you're
back
also
off,
2 years
B.
older than me.
Back off. When I think of Shanna, I think of Shanna being 3 years old and being afraid of my cat because he was fat. She was terrified of Disney.
Oh my god, Disney was so fat, and my sister didn't do animals in general.
No, it's fine.
As a kid, she was afraid of my friend's little dog, who's like a little Maltese. She was like, he had to lock up the dog. She was a very afraid kid. Funny enough, she would actually go into the arms of all of the dressed up animals. Where I was like, I don't do that.
No, I didn't do characters.
That.
No.
No for me either. It's a no for me, dog.
No.
I will not do that. But she loved that shit. And I'm like, really? You won't pet a dog, but you'll go into like Barney's arms? No. Gross. Anyway, stay tuned. Guys, I just had a frog in my throat. We're going to start After Dark real quick. I mean, nope. Cut that out. Or don't. I don't care. We're going to start After Dark now. You know you love us.
XOXO.
Gossip Girls.
After Dark.
Brain farts. Brain farts.
Oh my goodness. After Dark.
After Dark. So I want to start this out with a message from Adrian.
Okay, yes. Started out with Adrian.
Yo, Adrian.
So out of all of the times we heard from Gossip Girl in this episode, the one moment that kind of struck me the most was Gossip Girl's like iconic spotted post. So she said, "Spotted, little J having a fashion emergency. Looks like B drew blood." And in this post includes a photo of Blair, Dan, and Jenny. But that Gossip Girl post goes out like right after that photo was taken, and Dan was in that shot. So this is one specific instance where it doesn't really sound or seem that realistic for Dan to be Gossip Girl. And then later we have more narration by Gossip Girl that says, "Looks like New York's best kept secret is finally out. Turns out little J didn't lose her V card to Damien Dalgard. She waited and chucked it away with her stepbrother. Guess that explains the Humphrey and Hudson. Hell hath no fury like a Waldorf scorned. Looks like the jokes on Chuck and Blair and little J's got the last laugh." The part where Gossip Girl says hell hath no fury like a Waldorf scorned, that phrasing is very on brand with Dan Humphrey as I interpret him. So that gives us some insights into the verbiage that Gossip Girl sometimes uses that maybe some of the other characters probably wouldn't use. I think there are several instances throughout this show where it makes total sense that Dan is Gossip Girl, and other instances where it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And we've seen both of those instances in this episode alone.
First of all, I want her to do the intros for Gossip Girl every single week because she does it more justice than I ever will.
No, you do great.
I just, not to plug She's So Cool over and over and over again, but honestly, like when I listen to that voice, I'm like, give it to me.
Well,
that voice
you should
is
listen
so
to her.
soothing.
I listened to all her episodes, and I afterwards I texted her. I'm like, "You're amazing."
Her voice is just so perfect for
It's perfect
podcasting. She's got a great radio voice, and it's just great. It's great.
Yeah, she's great.
So loved what she said because it's so true.
Well, that's what goes back to it has to be a server.
Tish said it had to be a server because Jenny sent that blast to Gossip Girl out so quick, and then Padge was like right there reading it with everyone else. So she also was like, I want to tweet to Josh and ask if Dan was supposed to actually be Gossip Girl all along.
Tish, you should do it.
She should do it.
We should do it too.
Yeah. The saga of the Dan Eric who intended to be Gossip Girl continues because Audrienne says that Dan was thought to be Gossip Girl in the beginning. And they even have, as we said in the pilot, this one scene of Dan actually typing because he's Gossip Girl on the Gossip Girl website. But then they felt like it wasn't either they were going to use it as like, okay, Dan's Gossip Girl and not make a big thing about it. But I guess they decided to and then switched it to be Eric.
Right.
But that was leaked by a crew member.
Right.
So, again, still confused as to if Dan was intended to be it all along.
Because if it was leaked and it was supposed to, and then they were going to change it to Eric, that was leaked, then they changed it back to Dan.
Right. So
wait, so it was supposed to be Padge, and then they changed it to Eric, Dan, then that got leaked, and then it's back to Padge.
From what I understand, I think they were going, as I have said in the past, like the book route where there is someone that is Gossip Girl, but it's not ever known and not ever a big deal, but it was supposed to be Dan because it makes the most sense. He's, the most introverted and is watching everyone from afar. He's in love with Serena, doesn't even really know her. And so he decides to open up this forum where he can talk about these people and they have no idea it's him. So I could see that as like the whole show we would know it's him and it wasn't a mystery, but I don't know if it would have affected everyone in such a big way.
Right.
Right. And so maybe they decided not to go that route and they wanted to keep it a secret. So they wanted to make it Eric, but then it was leaked. And then we've heard that after it was Eric, it was supposed to be Nate, but then they didn't go that route and they changed it back to being Dan.
No way it could have been Nate.
No way.
I would have not been happy with that.
Same. It wouldn't have made any sense. Jess wants to know why Dan would post Jenny being outside of against Blair's rules.
Right.
Not good.
No, it's a server. That's
right.
That's it. That's just how it has
Because
to.
as Adrian said, like Dan, Blair, and Jenny all were there in the blast and like reading it at the same time. So how could he have posted it?
Right. Just
So he just either there's no way of him stopping these posts from going up, you know? But it's like, well, then how come everyone has like the same like wordage each time? Like, does he have to put the captions on the pictures or does someone else do that? It's all tricky.
It is all tricky.
Yeah. Do you have any remarks on Dan being Gossip Girl?
I don't. Not this episode. We were so fired up at screaming at all of the situations that were happening, and then the last scene had me totally thinking about that.
Yeah.
That I didn't really pay too much attention to Padge and Gossip Girl this episode.
The same. I mean, I didn't see him as that, except for the one moment where he's telling Jenny, "Oh, you stoop to their level."
Right.
I'm like, "You're Gossip Girl. You stoop to everyone's level."
Right. Yeah, and then at that
Hypocrite.
point, all the everyone gets the blast because she sent it.
Right.
So, yeah. Huh. Man, I'm really hoping it's a survey we explain the network.
Yeah.
The Gossip Girl network. And you know, in the reboot that they're doing, you said, I wonder if it's going to be like, if Gossip Girl will become kind of like a forum.
Right. Like, and everyone just posts.
Especially if we're doing it now in the age of social media.
It wouldn't make sense to have someone who everyone tracks their own everyday life.
And it's going to be so to see that everybody on like an iPhone instead of these, sidekicks and
yeah, it's going to be weird.
flips. Yeah.
I feel like I need to definitely dive more into finding out about the reboot because I really don't know a lot about it because I haven't really been paying attention to it.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't done anything, but we're going to watch it. We're just, like it'll be a bonus episode. We have to. I'm curious about it.
I'm curious too. I want to see where they're going with it.
And I want to see if I can watch it. Well, I don't even know when it's coming. Sometime this year?
It's supposed to come this year, yeah.
Yeah. So depending on how far we are and if it doesn't spoil anything,
right?
It shouldn't.
No, I don't think it will.
No,
it shouldn't.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think the characters' names, none of them are the same people. So it wouldn't make sense if anything would be spoiled.
I think we said this last week or an earlier episode, how the actors should play themselves. Like Leighton Meester should play Leighton Meester in Gossip Girl on the Street of New York.
It'd be so good. And then have Ed like in his British accent, like, oh, that's Ed Westwick.
Like Blake Lively in the background as Blake Lively.
With like Ryan.
And
like,
that's it. Not as Serena, but as Blake Lively.
Yeah, I would appreciate that.
Yeah, that would be really funny.
Yeah. Well, this was a fun episode. I'm glad that I remember watching it for the first time and enjoying it because you get to see Jenny again and then Tim Gunn's on the episode and it's kind of like the breakdown of Chair and then that final scene. I was like, oh, wow, this is actually a really good episode. And then I rewatched it for my notes and I was like, God, I don't want to watch this episode again. And then I was glad to watch it with you because you were like the same person. I was like, okay, good. At least it's not just me with these ridiculous remarks. No. You're reacting the same exact way. And if not, we fire each other up even more.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we could discuss this episode in its entirety and all of the craziness that happens in it. And I'm excited for next week. Next week was a heavily requested episode. We had a lot of people request to be on it, but luckily Carrie and Allison are going to be on with us. And I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
To get their perspective. So we will see you guys in the next pod. Thank you so much for listening to 3 Gossip Girls. You can find us on all social media platforms at 3 Gossip Girls Pod or at 3gossipgirlspod@gmail.com.
This has been a Total Betty Media podcast, produced and edited by Michelle Rubenstein and Alyssa Tenio, music by Anthony Vicora.